Hari Yashodhanandana Braja Janaranjana Sodanandana Braja Janaran Yashodhanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodhanandana Braja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Bana Chari Tira Bana Jamuna Tira Bana Chari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Janavallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodhanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodhanandana Braja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Paribraja Acharya Statera Sati Shishimad His Divine Grace Abhoy Charana Aravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Go Premanandi Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Ti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaudavani Pacharine Nivishesha Sanyavari Paschatya Rasatanya Hari 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 Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Does anyone have a topic or a verse for today? For the farewell class? Yes.
I don't know the verse. It is in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It says that spiritual world is expanding, or always expanding, and it is unconceivable by God.
Spiritual world is
Always expanding.
In all
directions. It is written again.
Spiritual life is expanding in all directions. Well, the nature of matter is it has limitation, and the nature of spirit is that it doesn't. And you could imagine, I was actually looking for, you could imagine that if you're going to live eternally somewhere and things weren't always getting better, it would be boring. right? Like, some people think, well, I hope that heaven is just a good version of this world. But we don't want a good version of this world, because this world couldn't be good enough that you'd want to live here forever. You have to be in a place where things are expanding, where the enjoyment, the rasa, the taste, the relationships, everything's getting better. So that's the nature of spirit. It's not stagnant. It's not static, it's ecstatic. Yeah. And therefore Krishna is known as Navayovanam. He's always fresh, which means that every time you see him, it's like the first time. The first time you do something is always special. So every time you see Krishna, it's like it's the first time. Isn't that beautiful? Ever fresh. Navayovanam. Ever fresh, always new, always youthful. Always Nava. Nava means new. It's always, and Yovana means youth. So it's always like a new, fresh youth. Beautiful. And as I've often said, that everything we're doing in this world, all the attachments and struggles we have in this world, are only because we are not acquainted with the nature of the spiritual world sufficiently. Because if we were, we wouldn't have any attachment for this world. It would be impossible. It would be impossible to be attached to anything in this world if we actually had that experience, that exchange with Krishna, seeing him, his beauty, and like we were saying this morning, Prabhupada said, I want to, eat kachoris with Krishna, eat laddus with Krishna, eat puris. If you had that experience of eating laddus with Krishna just for one moment, then there wouldn't be anything in this world that would be alluring, because this world is not dynamic. Well, not even that, it's just everything's different. And Krishna is inviting us, and the way that we are going to be able to fully take that invitation is to understand as best we can, realize as best we can what it means to have a relationship in those leelas. So we hear about those leelas. We hear and we hear and we chant and we develop this relationship, and then at some point there will be no attraction for anything in this world, because we'll have experience of that spiritual nature. We don't have full experience of it, because we're pleasure-seeking entities, and that's why we're always looking for pleasure in Maya, because we haven't fully realized it in Krishna. And your head says, but why am I doing this? I know this is not going to make me happy. Well, knowing it won't make you happy and feeling like it can make you happy are different. I know it won't make me happy, but I feel like it could. Right? Something like that. And that's why you have that verse. If you want to maintain attachments to things of this world, don't go see Krishna, because once you see him, you'll not be attached to anything. You can't be. Once you see the beauty of Krishna and experience a relationship with him, you can't be attached to anything material. And like Bilva Mangala, was it? No. King Kulaksheka. Maybe it was Bilva Mangala Thakur? It was King Kulaksheka. He said, he was a king, so he had a lot of sensual pleasures as a king. And he said, now that I'm a devotee and I'm tasting the rasa of bhakti, just the thinking that I engaged in sensual activity just makes me want to puke. He said, it makes me want to spit. I want to spit at the thought. The thought is, in other words, he's saying, it's just a disgust. Just to think of it is disgusting. Like when you become a devotee and you look at what people are doing and you think, I used to do that. That's disgusting. I can't imagine. How could I have done that? Drinking beer tastes like urine or something. How could I do that? It's like that. I can't even believe I did it. So someday it'll be that way for everything. Can't believe I did that. Or I even thought of doing it. I'd even want to do it again. So we say that there's two ways to be happy. One, you try to be happy, and one, you let Krishna make you happy. And he's better at it than you are. He's got more power. He's got more power to make you happy than you have to make yourself happy. You probably realize that making yourself happy is difficult. It's not difficult for Krishna. It's just difficult for us. Right? Hare Krishna. Mm.
So today you spoke about Yoga Maya,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to ask, what is the price of that curtain?
Mm.
Open? How can we maintain our lives in the best way?
Yeah, well, Shastra says lolium, greed. It's always like that, like Yogamaya was asking, when we were discussing how, like I respond, but sometimes I respond in ways I don't want to respond, so how to control that? And I said, well, you might feel something, just don't act on how you feel. And then she said, or you said, but it's better we don't feel it in the first place. And I said, you have to overcome your conditioning, you have to want to overcome it more than it wants to overcome you. So it's like a battle, because the conditioning is strong. It's easy to give into it, isn't it? So the conditioning is pushing, and you have to want to overcome it more. And I'll give you an example. I once heard this example. A person was asked, he had a problem he needed to overcome. And so the facilitator said, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, how strong is that problem? And the person said, it's about at a 9. And the facilitator said, then if you want to conquer the problem, you have to be at a 10. You have to be stronger. And that was like such a clear idea. And you probably heard when Prabhupada was asked, why is Maya so strong? He said, because your purpose is not strong. So Maya's only as strong as your purpose is not strong. So if your purpose is strong, then you're working against her harder than she's working against you. So that eagerness, that I want it. And of course the next question is, well, how do I get that eagerness? Well, there are different ways to get it, of course, through sadhana, and also through association of people who have what you want, and through study of scripture to understand why it's important. Because, as we all know, what's important is what gets attention. So, but I can tell you personally how I think. I think that I would be the idiot of the universe if, after getting Prabhupada's mercy, I gave it up. I can't think of anything like dumber than that. I mean, I'm not telling everybody out there you're all dumb if you have trouble. Yeah. Yeah, it's time for ghee. Hare Krishna. We're going to do a demonstration with ghee on the head. Make my brain work better and get my head to stop itching. Oh, it's so much. This is what I do when I cook and I have ghee on my hands. And I rub it in. Everybody was massaging me yesterday. He goes, you should massage your head with ghee. It's good for the brain. We'll find out if this class is better than normal. Yeah, so I'm just speaking, I'm not speaking towards anybody. I'm talking to myself. This is what I tell myself. you have to be the stupidest thing that ever walked the planet if you finally get Lord Chaitanya's mercy through Srila Prabhupada and you give it up. You were like an idiot, like on steroids. Never was there such an idiot as great as you. I'm not saying that to other people, I'm saying that's how I think about myself. And I think we should all think like that, because it's true. In his own words, Prabhupada has told us that in so many ways. So like, Prahlad Maharaj says, my Guru Maharaj saved me, how can I give up his service? So it's like, Prabhupada has given me this, how could I give it up? So yeah, Maya's strong, but if you have that kind of faith and determination, then it's just a matter of time. You know, you can't get it today, everything. It's a matter of time, but at least if you're on the path long enough, you'll get it. But you'll get it faster according to your eagerness, because according to your eagerness, then you apply the process better. Right? You know, like, if we think about things we could do better, there are things we could do better. Yes? For all of us. Or more of, or things we could let go of, or partially let go of, or things we could correct. And so, when you're more eager, you do those things. When you're less eager, you don't. You just go, oh, whatever. So hard. Gotta be real. I'm only human. Okay, see you in the next life, because that's the attitude for taking another birth. So you don't want to, Prabhupada didn't want us to have that attitude of taking another birth. So if you don't have the attitude of taking another birth, you don't say those things. You say, yeah, it's hard, and I'm going to have to try harder. Because my obstacles are at an 8, I have to at least be at an 8.1. So, you know, and that's just the price you pay. And then you accept that. Because really, the real battle, of course, is against our own conditioning. There's no enemy outside. We might think there is one, and sometimes it seems like that, but we're really just battling against our own conditioning. And as I said in the car, either you'll be controlled by Yoga Maya or Maha Maya, and you have the choice of what Maya you want to be controlled by. Right? So, attraction and repulsion are felt by all embodied beings. One should not fall under their control. So, you know, the forces of the world pull you around, or you pull yourself around. You decide. You have to decide. So, when you come to that point in your life, well, this life I want to be Krishna conscious, then that's good. That you will, that eagerness will direct you. And your spiritual life becomes, it's not difficult when you have that. And you can see there's so many devotees in our movement. They have that. They're not going anywhere. They're just here for the long haul. You can see they're devotees. You're not worried about, well, maybe this Prabhu or Mataji is going to go away. You know, they've been worshipping the deities 365 days a year forever. They're not going anywhere. Right? They have that deep, so that deep commitment, that's what stabilizes them. This is what I want. This is my goal in life. There's nothing I want more than this. And I could be offered all kinds of things, and I can use that in Krishna service, but I will not take anything that would deviate me from the path, even if it's something I like. I wouldn't take it. Not always easy, right? But I wouldn't. If this is not good for me, I won't do it. That's the sign of a surrendered soul. So then I guess the question that everyone would ask and say, well, you know, how do I get in this? How do I get this determination? Yeah, you can use my trick. Go in front of the mirror and say, if you give this up, you are an idiot. You are the most idiot, you are worse idiot than anyone on this planet, because you have it. You know, look at all the people that don't have it, they can't give it up. But you have it, so if you give it up, you are a loser beyond losers. You're losing everything. So, and also, since yesterday was Prabhupada's disappearance and we were talking about Prabhupada's mission, and then I could be a soldier in Prabhupada's army. So that's really bad to give that one up, because what opportunity in billions of lifetimes do you have to be a soldier in Lord Chaitanya's army? You know, so why would you give that up? You get so much mercy, you become dear to Krishna by serving him in Lord Chaitanya's movement. So dear, so easily dear. So and this is Prabhupada's mission, and he's given it to all of us. I can't give it up. So what am I going to give it up for? Cigarettes and beer? It's like a few movies and a few boyfriends, and like, we've already done that. You know, it's like, the thing to realize is if whatever I'm giving up, whatever I would do if I gave up Krishna, whatever I would do to replace it, I've already done a million lifetimes. And the reason I came to Krishna consciousness is because it didn't work. So why would I be stupid enough to go back out and do the things that I already gave up that I know don't work, that I did for millions of lives? That would be not good. Right? And you know nothing, you know, if you know, now we're trying to be Krishna conscious. Just see how frustrated we are if we're not like really Krishna conscious. What to speak if we just give it up? How if we're frustrated, you know, as I can't be 100% Krishna conscious 24/7, I get frustrated. It's frustrating, isn't it? What to speak if you just gave it up? Like, and the only way you could be happy if you give up Krishna consciousness is to try to forget Krishna. And that's like, you're going to be happy forgetting Krishna? I don't think so. But that's how you do it, right? You have, you know, every effort for sense enjoyment is, the prerequisite is to forget Krishna, because if you remember him, you wouldn't do it. Or if you remember him, you wouldn't be happy doing it, because you just feel guilty. Right? It's like you're married and you have a boyfriend. Like, how could you really be happy? And you're thinking of your husband and you're with this other guy. It's just, so, you know, sometimes someone may try to forget Krishna because they just want to do whatever, but how's that going to work? Imagine how frustrated one would be, right? And the only way you can deal with that is you have to go into the mode of ignorance, because the mode of ignorance just dulls you so much, you just forget. You forget your bhakti. Like, if you really want to enjoy, you have to forget your bhakti. If you're really pious, you won't forget, because it's your nature to remember. But we're not really pious. We don't fall in that category, most of us. Because, you know, we're Westerners, we know how to enjoy materially. The blessing of the Indians is they have a really hard time enjoying materially. They're not so good at it. They're not as good at it as we are. They're good at like enjoying family and big TVs and nice cars and nice houses, but we're all over the map in terms of material enjoyment. Like, we know how to enjoy so many things, isn't it, compared to them? Years ago was when Indians came to America. It was like they hardly even knew how to enjoy. It was like they're so dharmic, and there's so little enjoyment in India, and they come to America, and I'd look at them. They'd have good jobs and money, but they just, it wasn't their mentality that this is all mine. They understood. This is Krishna's. We have to give some money, have to go to the temple, have to do some pujas. It's like in their blood. We know how to go all out sense gratification. We've done it for years, right? So, and to do that, if you're a devotee, you have to forget Krishna, because otherwise you can't enjoy it. How can you enjoy sense gratification if you remember Krishna? Unless it's refined sense gratification, it's somehow whether it's dharmic, but otherwise not. And so who wants to be in that situation? Of course, you could enjoy and say, thank you, Krishna, and chant some rounds, and whatever, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah. As I said a week or two ago, as I said in Slovenia, don't let anything get in the way between you and Krishna. Because there's a million things that can get in the way, right? So that's the determination of a devotee. But I'm gonna take up Krishna consciousness. Thank you. First class servant. Don't have to ask. Yogamaya, you are a first class servant. What was I just saying? What was the last thing I said? Nothing gets between you and Krishna. So that's the determination. That should be our determination. There's so many things to get in the way between ourselves and Krishna, but I'm not going to allow that to happen. And if it happens, I will immediately correct it. Because it will happen sometimes, but you immediately correct it. Sometimes you slip and fall, but you don't stay down. You just get up, brush the dust off your clothes and just keep going and limp a little bit, but just keep walking. Right? And you can say, that was stupid, I slipped on a banana peel, I should watch where I'm going. But whatever, I won't do it again. Dust yourself up and just, that's what we have to do. It's just the way it is. And then we all wish we could be pure devotees like, well, what's the problem? I chanted, one round of Hare Krishna, first time in my life. Why am I not a pure devotee yet? Takes time. Sorry for the bad news, everyone, but it takes time, therefore. Rupa Goswami says, Utsahan nistaya daryat. You have to be patient, enthusiastic.
Is it really impossible through one life?
Yeah, Prabhupada said it. Prabhupada wants it. Prabhupada said it many times. He wants us to go back to Godhead this lifetime. And he's offering a way to do it. The main thing is you have to want to do it. It's possible. If you just want to do it, it'll happen. Krishna will help you. We were saying, I think in Slovenia, that I heard that lecture. Prabhupada said, you think of Krishna 24 hours, he'll think of you 26 hours. And then Prabhupada said, you take a step to him, he'll take 100. We thought it was only 10. We just got an upgrade. Take one step, you get 100. Wow. If someone says Krishna doesn't love me, I think that's the proof that he does. That you make one step, he takes 100. He loves you way more than you love him. And if you meditate on Krishna Leela, not just meditate on it, but imagine someday you could be part of that Leela and develop a desire to be in that Leela. It will help you tremendously. Because that, you think of the goal, that's where we're going. And so if you never think of the Leela, maybe you just think it's hard to control your senses. But if you think of the Leela, it's that's where I'm going. All this effort is going to pay off in the end because I become qualified to enter Leela. So, sounds like a good program to me. And could you imagine if you botch up your, mess up your Krishna consciousness, and then you're an old lady, 88 years old, going, I blew it. I should have just kept on the path. Like, how are you going to live with yourself? The only way you can live yourself is to make some rationalization why you're not Krishna conscious. Just so you don't feel guilty, but you'll feel guilty anyway. At least if your desire is to be Krishna conscious, then, it's the best gift you can give yourself, and at the end of your life, you'll thank yourself. Right? Rather curse yourself or thank yourself. Every time every time you do something that helps your Krishna consciousness, consciously or unconsciously, you thank yourself. You're happy. What do what do you like about yourself? Nothing. I don't like anything. Yeah. Well, do you like the fact that you became a devotee? Well, yeah, I do. Would you like the fact that you remain a devotee all your life? Yeah, I would. Okay, so you do like something about yourself. And if that's true, then you should advance, because you'll appreciate yourself. You'll appreciate your effort. You'll thank yourself. Right? We celebrated Janmashtami at the end of the night. We're all exhausted, and then we get up in the morning and we go to the temple program. We were gone 11 hours yesterday. We left at 9:45, and I think we came back at 11 or something crazy. What time did we get back? Was it? I don't remember, but I kind of remember. I remember doing the calculation, and I think it was 11 hours. Well, it doesn't matter, 10 or 11. And during the initiation, if someone had brought a bed in, I could have laid down and gone to sleep in like a nanosecond. I was really tired. And during the arti, I was like, yeah, I didn't have so much energy. So, but at the end of the day, after we've, done 2 days of just hearing and chanting, how do we feel? We push ourselves and we fast, but we thank ourselves. Thank you for doing that, isn't it? My dear self, thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it. That was really good. Please keep it up. You're making me happy. And if we don't do that, then we have to I didn't do it. I blew it. Right? So, that's important it's important to think like that. And it goes back to self-care, like you care enough about yourself to do the things that will help you be Krishna conscious. And all those temptations that you think, well, maybe some situation I could give in to temptation, then your mantra is, I could never do that to myself. I would never treat myself. I would never allow myself to do something that would harm me. Right? I love myself too much to allow myself to give in to this temptation. And that just keeps you going, because there will be temptation. Yes? Yeah. But as you advance, there's less temptation, because Krishna is more tempting. Krishna is more charming than the charm of this world. And the charm of this world is just a sign that we need to advance further. We haven't gone far enough. And the more we go in our bhakti, the less there'll be charm for this world. And that's the sign that we're doing well. Right? Yes? Ash. Yes. So, a beautiful realization or fact is that, as we know, Maya is Krishna's servant. Mahamaya is Krishna's servant. And so her function, she has a function by the order of Krishna, but that function is actually to make you Krishna conscious. It's not to allure you away from Krishna. It's actually meant to bring you to Krishna. So, she creates a situation where you forget Krishna, and in that forgetfulness you suffer, and then you want to go to Krishna because that's the place you won't suffer. And Prabhupada said, or in other places, it is said that when you reach a certain point, Maya will then help you, because then it turns into Yoga Maya. So, like, you have no more business with Mahamaya, now you have business with Yoga Maya. So if you show no interest in Mahamaya, then Yoga Maya you make room for Yoga Maya, and she can come in. Isn't that nice? And she'll help you. Well, Prabhupada said Maya will help you Not by frustrating you, but directly help you go back to Krishna. Because that's her goal, ultimately. That's her function. So we're all here because the material world's not working for us that well. I had such an interesting experience this morning. This is crazy. I got an email, and in the email there was a document. I was reading the document, and I was like, what is this? And why did I get this email? I couldn't figure it out because it's from a disciple, and I forgot her birth name. So I was like, why am I getting this? So I, this like, said, this needs to be corrected. I'm like, this must be somebody doing something for me. So I'm reading through this, like realizations. Like 7 or 8 realizations. Maybe I can read one. You want to hear? Yes. Let's see if I can access it. This would be fun. Yeah, this would be fun. Is there something about what we're talking about here? Let's read this. Okay, I'm going to tell you. This is funny. I wrote this when I was 23 years old. It's practically exactly what I just said now. This is so funny. But there's a reason I'm reading this. Material happiness is bound by so many limitations. We may enjoy Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but Monday comes and happiness ends. Perhaps my girlfriend leaves. I lose money. This situation or that changes. Then my consciousness, if material, is completely changed. But the pure souls are actually not in the material world and are not affected by those qualities. Real happiness is impossible by material adjustment. Listen to this one. This is so cool. We cannot adjust our situation as nicely as those on Brahmaloka. And Krishna says even Brahmaloka is a place of misery. I like that one. So where does that put us? If I beat you on the head with a metal pole, certainly you'll feel happy when I stop. Similarly, those pleasures which help us forget our misery give us false happiness. Today I walked up an extremely long stairway at Swami's Beach. That's in San Diego. There's a place, Paramahansa Yogananda has a center. It's called the Self-Realization Fellowship. And it's on a hill above the beach, one of the best surfing spots around. So I knew about the surfing spot before I was a devotee, and they call it Swami's Beach. And I was there, walking up the stairs. So I walked up an extremely long stairway at Swami's Beach. I was thinking that it would be a great torture for sinful activities if one had to continually walk up a flight of steep stairs without rest. I was thinking that if I had to suffer this punishment, I would certainly lament that I committed all these sinful activities. Right? Like, why did I, when you get the punishment, it's like, why did I eat all that, all that burfi for the last 80 years, now I have to have an operation. Certainly the ultimate suffering at the end is not worth the enjoyment of a sensual life. When a healthy man walks into an orthopedic store, he has no use or relation with the various instruments. Similarly, we should see all the articles, cloth, etc., that we have no use for these things. We should see the material world. It's like all these objects are like for people. They're not for us because we're not sick. Just like we don't need a wheelchair. We don't. Anyway, that's... In the material conception of life, our actions are aimed at becoming happy, but they never make us happy. Just like in traveling Sankirtan, sometimes we sleep a lot more, forget to pay obeisances, talk nonsense, what we used to do. Talk nonsense, thinking these things will satisfy. The result is that we feel anxiety. The Christian philosophy of enjoyment proves they have no taste of love of God. If they did, they would voluntarily give up their material activities, but instead they derive enjoyment from them. So, I mean, I'm just reading this for two reasons. One, because we're talking about it, but the main point is, I was 24 when I wrote that, and it sounds like I wrote it yesterday, right? Yeah. Which definitely proves we're just evolving. We like knew all this in our last life. So reading this is like, oh my God. I mean, there were some things that we read here that sounded exactly, I can't find it, exactly like me today. And I'm like, wait a minute. How could I speak like this? This is like, I don't know, I was maybe 2 to 4 years a devotee, maybe 3. And when I first heard this, I was like, this is really nice, because it just shows that we're continuing. So if I'm continuing, that's quite an impetus, isn't it? They think, why stop? I'm not going to stop now. I've already started this. This is crazy. I'm halfway done. I thought, this is like, I'm reading this, I'm like, how could I say these things? I was a brand new devotee. It sounds exactly like what I say today. Isn't it? Like if I just read that, you would, and I said, I wrote this morning, you'd be like, okay. Yeah, you can do the same thing, write your realizations, and 50 years from now read them and go, oh my God. How did I know that? I was just a young devotee. Well, I mean, you might not realize it so much. But the other thing is, Prabhupada was on the planet and I was serving him directly, and therefore it's just like, I'm reading some of this, I'm like, oh, wow, I was more Krishna conscious then. Anyway, you get the point, we're continuing, so, why give up now? You're almost there. You're almost at the finish line. There'll be difficulties, there'll be challenges, and it's beautiful to tolerate them in the service of Krishna. You'll feel gratified when there's a difficulty, but you tolerate the storm, go through. You'll feel like, okay, Krishna, I did this for you. That's my love for you. I tolerate something. All right. Anything else? One more. Anything else aside from sambar, idli, and dosa? Anything else? Yeah. Yeah. One more.
So how to become first-class devotee like Yogamaya Mataji? She's great, but you told about first, second, and third class, and I just totally third class, totally forgetting everything you're saying to me. So
well, if you first-class devotee serves without being asked, third class is asked and forgets. I once had a devotee who was helping me. This devotee was really, really good, and others asked this devotee, like, how is it you're so good? So the devotee said, I try to think what he needs. Like, I try to think what I would need, and then I serve him. I like that. Yeah. Or you think, well, we know, if you're serving someone, sometimes you just know what they need. They've told you. Like with Prabhupada, we know so many things he wants us to do, and so many of our ideas for preaching came not from him, but indirectly from him. Does that make sense?
yeah. What's your question? Did I answer you? Yesterday there was we had a Yogamaya notice to take to you.
I'm going to give you a microphone, just so the world can hear you.
I hope it's okay to share. So yesterday...
well, ask her.
Yeah, can I share about yesterday? No. Yeah. Okay.
So yesterday, Yogamaya noticed that you had not had a shower because you were so busy with everything yesterday. There wasn't even time for you to have a shower because there was all this everything, one thing after another.
Yeah.
And also that there were no garments with you, that there was nothing with you. So she was wondering what's happening, is there with that dynamic, and how can that be improved?
What's happening with my dirty clothes? I don't know. They're not getting washed. It's getting washed every 3 days.
The point we're making here is that in a first class devotee would be on top of that, right? They're making sure that, because we know Prabhupada is saying 3 showers a day from Brahminical standard.
Well, they wanted me to go on the altar, but I didn't have a clean dhoti, and
Right.
I'd already been in the bathroom, so.
Right. So then.
Well, I don't know how you could arrange that. There's
thing
no
is,
way.
we can, if we look at this type of thing now, then next time we can improve, right?
Bring a bucket of water and a towel.
There was a shower there.
There was.
Yeah.
Oh, I did. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, but I didn't have clean clothes.
You didn't have any clean clothes. So next time we
And
need to figure out.
I would need to know that they want me to do arti, then I could bring clean clothes.
Right. Or we
Do
just
you-
always have a clean clothes.
Do you know? When we all lived in the temple, we would not go on the altar if we walked outside the temple in our clothes. We would consider the clothes contaminated. Whoa! Ooh. I don't know if that's true or not, but well, that we didn't know. She asked me right before, and I said, these clothes have all been in the bathroom.
So for next time, do we need to schedule in some time for that?
If they want me to do arti, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. Anyway, you guys figure it out.
We will figure it out.
Of course, what you want may not be what I want, but that's another thing. But
Right, that's another thing, right? So then how do we know if we're overstepping
the
mark?
main thing is for disciples how to spread Krishna consciousness, because they know their spiritual master and Prabhupada want it. That's most important. That's what pleased Prabhupada the most. You know, not like serving him personally, but serving his mission. So you make many devotees. That's the best thing you can do. Make people Krishna conscious.
And go back to God empty-handed.
Yeah. You make a song. Don't go back to Godhead alone. Take as many people with you as you can. That's Prahlada Maharaj's prayer. Prahlada Maharaj says, I'm good, but I'm not good. I'm good because I'm your devotee. I can hear and chant, I'm good, but the fact is all these people aren't going back to Godhead, so I'm not good. So we know that's Krishna's desire, we know it's Prabhupada's desire because it's Krishna's desire, and so that's the best service. Do something that will bring people to Krishna consciousness according to your capacity. You know, of course, we should serve the spiritual master personally when we can. But I think from Prabhupada's perspective, he was, that was like secondary to preaching. Like when he asked Harikesh to go to behind the Iron Curtain to preach, and he said, "But I'm serving you." And Prabhupada said, "Anybody can do that." All right? But I'm massaging you. Anybody can massage me. It's not that important. But you have capacity. You can do so much. Go do it. So.
Common sense, right?
You want to make a report. You can make a report every year to your spiritual master. This is what I did. So what's in your report? What do you want to? What would you like to report? Just, think. What do I want to report to you? That's been done. I've inspired so many devotees. I helped so many devotees. I started or maintained a project. Would have corrected something in the movement, something. That's the first class servant. It doesn't have to be told, he just knows. I know what my Guru wants because my Guru has told me a million times. We know what Prabhupada wants. And what your spiritual master wants is what Prabhupada wants. So if you do what Prabhupada wants, you're doing what he wants. Just like we said yesterday, and how Prabhupada thanked his disciples for distributing his books. So you distribute his books, he's pleased. Your Guru is pleased. Because that pleases Prabhupada. So the disciples helping the Guru do something that pleases his Guru. So Prabhupada, thank you so much for helping me distribute these books. Because that was his service. So if the disciple helps the Guru do something that pleases his Guru, then the Guru is indebted to the disciple for helping him. He gets the benefit. Right? Simple. But sometimes Prabhupada asked us to do things we never did. That's also there.
Can you give an example?
Like he was trying to build the Vrindavan temple and he needed money, and they were spending money on other projects. They weren't giving money for that. And somehow he couldn't get his disciples to give him money for that temple. Of course, you're sitting here and thinking, how is it possible Prabhupada couldn't get his disciples to do certain things? But that's one example. Some leaders weren't chanting their rounds. He couldn't even get them to do that. And one disciple, Prabhupada was saying, my disciples are not giving me the money to build the temple. And the disciple said, I'll get the money myself. And he did. So, such a good example. I mean, not that everybody could get that money, but he knew how he could get it, so he did it. He said, don't worry, Prabhupada, I'll do it. And Prabhupada was not directly asking him, he was just telling him, I need money and nobody's giving. I mean, you could say, in a way he's asking, but in a way that was like known to everybody. And this disciple did it. So that's nice. Right? And we use our intelligence to figure out, well, what would Prabhupada want? And according to my capacity and ability, how could I fulfill that? Because we're all different. Not everybody can do everything. According to my capacity, what would Prabhupada want? And then you see, according to your nature, where you can fit in. It's with the kids, it's with the Bhakti centers, it's with some form of healing, it's with art, it's with music, it's, some way I can help. That I feel, have insight for, I'm qualified for, I'm inspired to do, and I see it's helping. It doesn't have to be, any necessarily certain format. Plus the world's going to change, so that format's going to change anyway, to some degree. I mean, we could not imagine 50 years ago that people who aren't devotees would be chanting Hare Krishna without us. And recording the Hare Krishna mantra without us. That was like no box in our brain for that. And that's happening. So who knows how the world's going to change.
Yeah.
That's from our perspective, 1970, that's craziest thing that could ever happen. At least on a broad scale. So, is it time for Mahaprasadi Govindeya? They're still slaving away in the kitchen.
They seem quite happy.
They have a conspiracy here in the kitchen. to get devotees to overeat. Madhuri, has the offering been made yet? Has the prasadam been offered? Bhoga been offered or no? It's not written.
Yes.
It's
Your
written.
prasadam is already offered.
And everyone else? No?
Yes, I'm completing.
Okay. We have time for another question, or comment, or argument.
I was interested what in the
Give her that.
beginning, in the beginning of a movement, devotees were doing Harinams, and what kind of melodies you were singing?
Hare Krishna,
Only this one?
Hare Krishna. That's one of them. Then we had Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. And Vishnu Janan, he used to chant in Hollywood, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. That was the Hollywood melody, like theater melody. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Of course, there was Vishnu Janan. Go Nityananda Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Go Nityananda Bo, Hari Bo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, There's another melody, I'm not sure where it came from, if it was Prabhupada's melody or not. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You can find that somewhere online. I recorded that in 1983 in England on a 4-track recorder. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, and then Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, and another one, Hare Krishna. I have to play it. It's another one. Sometimes I play it.
Gurudev, when you said they're chanting without us, it's not chanting. The seed was planted already. When you say we would never have conceived that they would be chanting without us,
like other groups chanting.
Yeah, but that would have been come from the seed was planted already by Prabhupada, no?
Because we were the only ones. Well, maybe other people were chanting. We didn't realize it, but I never saw anybody chanting. So, because of Prabhupada, of course. Mm. But we just thought we were the ones who chant.
Yeah.
This one. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Too high for you. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I don't know if these melodies came from Prabhupada or where, we just made them up. And of course a morning melody, that was there, yeah. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That's a westernized variation of the actual melody. but generally, the way I chant it. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Oh yeah.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It's like close to the traditional Bengali, but this was different. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You know, so many variants of that. Well, we didn't have tons of melodies. That was what I remember. There may have been a few more. There's one melody that was recorded by disciples of Bhakti Siddhanta. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yeah, that was.
One more time, please.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, something like that. There's a recording somewhere of that, 30s or something. I don't know if Bhakti Siddhanta liked it or not or whatever. But Prabhupada, and there's another one. Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. I think we used to do that. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yeah, we had maybe 10 melodies. And then the other devotees would introduce their own here and there. And before you know it, there were 4,800 melodies. And then Ayendra brought in his melodies, more traditional. Yeah. You listen to old recordings of Vishnu John. You'll hear this melody. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So high. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Go Nityananda Bo, Haribo, Haribo, Go Nityananda Bo, Haribo, Haribo, Go Nityananda Bo, Haribo, Haribo, Nityananda Bo Hari Bo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nityananda Bo Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Gaur Nityananda Bo Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Haribo, 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 Haribo. This is John. And then he wrote a song. Prabhupada wanted him to come up with a melody for a song, and he came up with this melody. Vrindavanamaya stanam divyachintanamidam That was Vishnu Jan's melody. Interesting, huh? Vrindavanamaya stanam divyachintamanidam I don't know all the words all the way. Vrindavanamaya stanam divyachintamanidam You'll find that somewhere online. He was quite a musician. And then, Sri Rupa Manjari Pada Sampada Seimo Bhajana Puja Sri Rupa Manjari Pada Seimo Sampada Seimo Bhajana Puja Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Chaitanya Dasi posted the YouTube of it, but I can't. Can I play it at the same time that we're broadcasting?
Maybe someone else? I can play it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's play it. It's in the chat on Facebook. Well, we're going to say goodbye because it's time for prasadam. So, it's nice seeing you all, and all glories to Vishnu John Swami. Shuddha Bhakata Charanare Bhajana Anukula, Shuddha Bhakata Charanare Bhajana Anukula, Bhakata Sam Hare Krishna, Hare. Anyway, you can hear his recordings. Get some more idea. Okay, Haribol.